All right, let's talk about something that's a huge headache for pretty much every educator out there: creating and managing exams. Today, we're diving deep into a tool called the CalinskiExaminator. It's a digital ecosystem that's designed to completely change the game for how we create, deliver, and most importantly, understand assessments.
Look, if you're an educator, you know this feeling all too well. The sheer amount of work that goes into building fair, effective, and secure exams, it's just immense. And all that time is time you're not spending on teaching. So that's the core problem we're going to unpack today.
So, before we jump into the solution, let's really get clear on the challenge. The truth is, for a lot of people, crafting assessments is this complex, manual process that really hasn't changed much in decades, even while the rest of the world has gone completely digital. And this is where the CalinskiExaminator steps in. It's built to be this one central hub for everything assessment related. It really boils down to 4 key ideas: creating a smart question bank, automatically generating tests, delivering them securely, and then giving you powerful analytics on the other side. Okay, so you're interested. How do you actually get your hands on this toolkit? Let's walk through what it looks like to get set up and ready to roll. So, you've got a few ways to get in the door. There's a basic plan that's totally free, which is awesome for just poking around and seeing how it works. But to really unlock the power, you'll want one of the professional subscriptions. That's what gives you the real game changers, like bulk question imports, those deep analytics, and the ability to create as many exam versions as you want. Now, everything in this system, and I mean everything, is built on one foundational asset. The first and most important step is creating a really solid, well-organized question bank. And they've boiled this down to a super simple 4-step process. First, you upload your course materials. Then, you put in your questions. After that, you organize and review everything. And finally, you can actually share and collaborate with your colleagues. It's just a really logical, clean workflow. And it all starts right here. Now, this is so smart because it doesn't ask you to start from a blank slate. Instead, it builds on the documents you're already using every single day. You just upload your syllabi and your lesson plans, and they become the actual backbone of your whole assessment strategy. Next up, getting your questions into the system. And you've got options. You can add them one by one, which is perfect when you're writing new material, but, and this is huge for anyone with existing tests, there's a bulk import feature. This is a massive time saver that lets you upload whole batches of multiple choice questions all at once. You know, the goal here isn't for every teacher to have their own little private stash of questions. The big idea is to build a validated, shared institutional repository. Imagine an entire department contributing to one bank. It becomes this amazing collaborative resource that just gets better and more valuable over time. Okay, so you've put in the work, you've built an amazing question bank. Now what? Well, the next logical step is to use that incredible asset to build the perfect exam for your students. And this is done with a super cool feature they call Mix and Match. It lets you pull questions from anywhere: your personal bank, your department's bank, even the larger institution's bank. This kind of flexibility means you can create a totally custom exam that's targeted to exactly what your class needs. Once you've picked all your questions, you come to a fork in the road. You've got 2 main paths you can take. You can either generate a traditional printed exam for class, or you can create a secure online exam. And each one has its own unique advantages inside the system. So let's say you're going the old school route with paper. Well, the system has a very modern trick up its sleeve. It can generate unlimited, unique versions of the same exam, basically just shuffling the question order for every single copy. It's such a simple but incredibly effective way to discourage wandering eyes in a packed lecture hall. Now, for the online exams, the process is just as slick. The system gives you a unique exam code and a special link just for your class. This is all about creating a secure, controlled bubble for the assessment, making sure only your students can get in. So you've sent the link out, the exam is live. But let's be real, in a world of a million browser tabs and distractions, how do you actually maintain academic integrity?
Well, the platform has you covered with a built-in anti-cheating system. And what's really crucial here is the transparency. The rules are laid out crystal clear for the student before they even start the exam. It's all about making it a fair and upfront process.
And it really comes down to this one number: 3. Students get 3 strikes. If they do something like switch browser tabs or try to resize the window, that's a strike. If their face disappears from the camera for more than 5 seconds, that's a strike too. After the 3rd strike, that's it. The exam automatically submits. Okay, the test is over, the scores are in.
But for a system that's truly smart, that's just the halfway point. The real magic happens when you turn all those raw scores into actual, actionable insights.
And that brings us to a super important concept in education called item analysis. So what is it? Well, basically, it's a deep dive into how students did on every single question. It helps you figure out if a question was maybe too hard, too easy, or just worded badly. It's absolutely essential for making your future tests better.
Now, anyone who's had to do item analysis by hand knows it is an absolute nightmare of spreadsheets and calculations. But here, the platform does the whole thing automatically. This dashboard gives you a detailed breakdown of every question's performance, turning all that post-exam data into a tool you can use to improve your teaching. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. When you strip away all of the administrative busy work from creating, securing, and analyzing exams, what happens? You free up educators to do the one thing they're there to do: teach. So the real question isn't just about better tests, it's about what new possibilities this opens up for the future of learning itself.